good evening, and this is our little scramble before we go live for the actual show over on cavecrewradio.com. My name is DK. I'm here with Big B, and tonight we are not only going to be live on Cave Crew Radio, Facebook, but we are also debuting on a place where we store our live videos, which we call Cave Crew TV over on YouTube. So if for some reason you're one of those people that needs to get away from the negative news and you've deleted your Facebook, like some people we know, but you've kept your Instagram, your Twitter, and your TikTok, you can watch us now on Cave Crew TV over on YouTube. And if you have a Fire Stick or one of those smart TVs, you can see us in all our glory once we go live at 8 p.m. Eastern. Big B, so we're talking, of course, it's summertime. Last week we were talking about vacations and cottages and stuff like that. Right. We're talking about barbecuing. And tonight you did chicken wings, and tomorrow though you're starting to play with your recipe a little bit with the ribs.
Yeah, so I have a smoker, and I make ribs two different ways. One with my own barbecue sauce, and one with some butter, some hot honey, and some brown sugar. But tomorrow I'm going to try out a little rib rub. So I'm going to put a rub on it beforehand, a nice sweet and with a little bit of heat on it. Put that on and then finish it off again with the honey, the hot honey, the butter, and the brown sugar, and see how it tastes. See if it enhances the flavor of my normal ribs.
I can't wait until the borders open and I can come and enjoy it, because I am a fellow pitmaster. Now I'm one that strays away from the sweetness. I'm not a real sweet guy. I'm more for the smoky and a little bit of spice.
Right.
Now, when and I have a smoker as well. Do you smoke them and then do you wrap them and put them on the flames, or do you put them on the flames for a few minutes just to cake that sauce?
No, I wrap them. So typically I'll put my ribs in my smoker for 3 hours, pull them out, put whatever. If I'm doing my barbecue sauce, I'll put my barbecue sauce on it. If I'm doing brown sugar, some hot honey, and some butter, I'll put that on them, and then I'll wrap them up in foil, put them back in the smoker for another hour. So they're never on direct flame. So it'll always be in my smoker. And after another hour, you pull them out. They're whatever I put on them, whether it's the barbecue sauce or the other stuff, turns into a nice liquid, keeps the ribs moist, and gives it a wonderful tenderness and a wonderful flavor.
Now, I've never wrapped anything while in the smoker.
Yeah,
I've wrapped the ribs and put them on indirect heat in the barbecue after.
Same thing.
Yeah. But in the smoker, I'm usually just let that shit soak in. It's getting so good now that my son is actually criticizing the wood chips that I use. I like the combination you used last time. And I don't know how you cook, Big B, but I don't have books like you. I kind of sit there and go, I've got 3 bags of chips. Give it a little smell, throw them in. Let's see what happens.
Oh, well, I'll align what, as far as the wood chips go, I'll align what kind of what goes with what meat. So when I do ribs, I use cherry wood. If I'm doing a pork butt, I'll do apple wood, and I'll spritz it with some apple juice and some apple cider vinegar to keep it moist. If I'm doing beef, it'll be more like a hickory type.
Hickory, I love hickory.
One
I like. I don't have the name, but I'll have to find it.
Well, in 2 weeks, not this weekend, but next weekend, we're going to be doing for my wife's birthday. So she wants to do kind of a surf and turf deal. So I'm going to be smoking some salmon and some beef. So I think I may use mesquite, because I think mesquite goes nice with fish.
That's the other one I have. Very nice. Very yeah. A little bit sharper, the mesquite.
Yeah, no, but I think it goes with the fish. So yeah, I try to line up my wood with whatever meats I'm using in my smoker.
Yeah, it's so much fun, ladies and gentlemen. Get yourself a smoker. And now we're about to go live very shortly, but have you? Well, we'll talk about the canning on the air. That'll be a good kickoff for the canning because I have a story that goes right in line with that.
Okay.
But where was I going to go? So you don't finish anything like even off the heat on the grill to caramelize the sauce.
No, everything, the ribs, everything is wrapped. I wrap the ribs. If I'm doing like a pork butt, it continues to get continuous smoke until it's done.
Well,
I'll
that's
put a temp probe in it and just wait till it comes to temperature and then pull
but the ribs, like a little char mark on it, or
no, I like it a nice tender rib. No
it's
char marks.
tender. You just, I'm not talking long. You heat the main grill once you pull it out of the smoker, and you kind of flip it, and then put it off heat and let the sauce kind of meld in with the smoked meat.
No, see, because that almost like caramelizes the sauce almost. I don't like it sticky. So that's why I'll keep it wrapped. It'll turn into like a liquid, so it'll soak into the rib, and it'll just have a nice texture to it. I don't like sticky. The only time I'll do that is if like I messaged a couple of times. I was making a couple of tomahawk steaks, so I'll put that in the smoker for about an hour, and then that I'm going to pull and finish it on my grill.
Right.
So I get the nice grill marks on it.
Sear that. You got to seal the juices. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to go live. We'll continue because it is our endless summer beach party coming up. So we'll continue a little bit of this summer talk, a little bit of vacation talk, perhaps. We got a big show coming up. We got Sir Big B, This Is Your Life. We've got, we're going to look at the Choo Choo Stew's smell. He's reported to me. We've got some weird COVID news. And of course, I don't know what else we got. We're going to do a lot of fun stuff. Just stand by. Fastest 90 minutes in radio and YouTube television. Stand by. Let's kick this baby off on the radio. And you're going to see our faces just in a minute too there, folks.
Initiate countdown.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is a production of the Cave Crew Radio Network at cavecrewradio.com.
There was a time when the world turned their back upon men. Men with a dream and savage yearning within them. Legions compelled by passion that knows no boundary. A consuming flame that defies plausible explanation. Battling the forces of domestication, they find the courage to band together to experience the awesome power of big men.
I say this with all due respect.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Tonight's broadcast of the Masculine Feminist has been commandeered by the secret society No Ma'am.
Gotta go to a place like a shot and a beer, steak, man. Saying we can stop, get pancakes, and then we'll get laid, all right?
Why do you drink ice cold beer on a hot day?
Mr. Clement, what else are you gonna do with it?
To alcohol, the cause of and solution to all of life's problems.
The Yankees are champions of baseball! It's off power, one goal!
This is Cave Crew Radio.
indeed it is, ladies and gentlemen. It is a Friday night here, live from my cave in Ontario, Canada. My name is DK. It's an exciting night, not only because I'm hanging out with my good friend, Sir Big B, but we are live now, not just uploaded a day or two later on our YouTube channel, Cave Crew TV. We are live on YouTube. We are live on Facebook. And of course, we are live at cavecrewradio.com. Great show coming up for you. We will report on I can never do it the right way, Smell-O-Vision of Choo Choo Stew, who is currently on the train. You did it perfect that time. And Sir Big B, this is your life. Some weird COVID news. And we're going to start off by talking summer in just a minute. But first, let me kick it over to my co-host, Sir Big B in Queens, New York, the epicenter of something every single week. I don't know what this week.
That's right. Live from the epicenter of something. I am Sir Big B, live here in Queens, New York. This week, it's the epicenter of my own cranial head pain.
Oh,
I've been dealing with a migraine all day, so I have the epicenter of headaches today.
Just the pressure of the atmosphere, the heat.
That's
Are you experiencing this heat.
Anytime the atmosphere change, especially because we had rain today, so when the pressure drops for the rain to come in, I get massive headaches. So that's what happened today. It was rainy, it was cloudy, it was overcast. But it's gonna be hot as fuck the next week.
Oh yeah, here too. Over 100.
Yeah, it's going to be near 100. I don't know if it's going to be over. It may be, but everything I saw is going to be near 100.
It feels like, feels like,
no,
you know,
of course.
These accurate meteorologists. But don't worry about Big B, folks. When the lights go on, the show must go on.
That's exactly what I told DK before we went on there. He said, we can cut it short. I said, nope, we're going to move forward.
Yeah.
Sometimes great head pain leads to great radio.
And sometimes if I get you going enough, it will distract you.
It will distract me.
Distract you from the head pain.
From the head pain. This is also going to help in the short term, not in the long term, but in the short term. This will help.
Yes.
Hi to everybody on YouTube and Facebook and all of that.
Yes, big waves. Great to be on
YouTube
again. Remember back in the day when we were doing like the Google Hangouts or whatever it was. YouTube was we didn't know how to do Facebook yet.
We've come a long way.
We are the entrepreneurs of video and audio.
We will never get credit for any of it.
We're doing things that Fox News and national radio is doing. We were doing it long before them.
Right.
I don't know if I've said this before, but it drives me nuts when I see someone on a national TV show on a Skype screen talking from a microphone that you would like one of these little, I don't know, I might have one. I'm using it just for the earphone, but oh yeah, it's great to be here. Thanks for having me on national TV. My audio sucks and my video skips, but
it's amazing to me when you watch these shows that they can't ship you. They know you're going to be on air. This isn't a surprise, so they can't ship you like a port. Every studio, every channel has portable studios at the ready. So they can't ship you one just to make it at least a professional thing. Like you said, it's like freaking Skype on somebody's cell phone that keeps cutting out. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and they always, and I love it. Sometimes it's a really good interview, but they're like, yeah, I'm, yeah,
right.
and, it's great. We're raising money. It drives me fucking crazy.
That's right.
But anyway, so we were talking about summer and barbecuing and stuff like that on the pre-show. Interesting subject came up. Before I get there, though, if you guys like move forward, like I told you, I got my cottage now. 2 weeks. We're heading up Kincardine area. You have to Google it. Very nice area. I'm sure not a lot going on, depending what phase we're in, but just getting away. Have you guys moved forward with your Lake George or?
No, nothing yet. We have to see. Actually, have to see when my wife can take some vacation time because they're shorthanded in the office. So it's a little sketchy right now.
Yeah.
So we're waiting to see.
We're running out of time. Although, mind you, at this rate, you could probably go have Christmas Eve at the beach.
Nobody's going to be there. So yeah, I'm not very worried about things being
probably
booked.
going to be 90 degrees. It's I think I'm starting to believe in global warming. Mind you, we're probably going to get 40 feet of snow in January.
Well, exactly. Now that you say that, you're going to get 40. Well, you're in Canada, so you're due to get some snow within the next 3 weeks.
Well, see, you got to understand. I've tried to explain it to you before. We're like in the southernmost tip of Canada.
Right.
If you look at a map, we're actually parallel to like Northern California, a little bit higher maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we're all due for an El Nino, which means a very mild winter. Would not hurt my feelings in the least after this year.
Well, I think we had a mild winter this past one. I don't know. At least here in New York, it didn't really snow at all, which I was happy about because I hate fucking snow.
But it still got colder. And then May, it snowed in like May or something like that. It was fucking.
Yes, there was a snowstorm in May.
But anyway, so we're talking about the barbecue on the pre-show, and we've talked about her smoking and shit like that before.
Mm-hmm.
But now you're saying that Mrs. B has a new hobby.
Well, no, it's not.
Or want to be hobby, or
right? It's not. It's not her hobby. Because like you said, I make the barbecue sauce. I'm gonna make some the rub for the ribs and all that. You know, we're making our own stuff here. So she came to me with the idea one day for canning.
Okay.
I said, I didn't know what I had no idea what she's talking about. So she said, you know, they have these kits where you can make stuff and so you can preserve it longer. So I, started looking into it, and
more of like a jar than a can, right? Like
right. So you know those ball mason jars.
Yes, I know exactly what I've used them. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have a kit, like a starter kit for doing the canning within the ball mason jars. So I was thinking about it, and it may be, I was like, the more I thought about it, the more I thought it was pretty freaking cool because I can make the barbecue sauce and preserve it, and I could send it to you if I wanted to.
I can't wait.
And so I think that's going to be our next venture in this whole barbecue adventure that we're on.
The things that we have done since this COVID, now I've dabbled in it, but why I wanted to tell you about it is I don't have a large allotment garden by any means, but I've got some plants going on, and I'm having a huge harvest out of the minimal plants that I've done. And I just said to my wife, actually, before we came on air, I go, I'm going to have to, with the green peppers we got and stuff, I'm going to have to like pre-make some sauce and I can freeze it. But you're right. You can also can it if you do it properly.
Yeah.
And you don't have to freeze it. And then, when the colder months come and you want pasta or chili or whatever. And then the other thing was, by mistake, when I was buying the plants, because, you're in COVID and you're walking around the nursery and you're staying away from people. I do have some regular cucumbers, but I bought the dill pickle ones, whatever they're called. So I've got these pickle cucumbers. So I said, we got to buy, vinegar you have in the house, but I got to buy some dill. And I've got garlic, put cloves. I'm going to make some pickles, which would also be canning.
Right.
So together, both of us have endured the smoking and the barbecue passion. We will do this canning thing together. We might not be doing the same things, but I also make a barbecue sauce. And you know what I was thinking of doing my wings in? This may sound very bizarre to you. I'd like to throw this off you before we move.
Sure.
I was thinking a good wing, of course, smoked first, the way we do it. But how about a sauce that is like a zesty Italian with a Parmesan. So like a vinegar kind of bite to it with like the Parmesan to kind of smooth it over. What do you think?
I think that'll go, especially in chicken, because there's a lot of chicken within Italian food. So it's those two flavors are not strangers to each other. So I think it may go nicely
because we do cold pasta salads, like cold vegetable pasta salads with like the Italian or the sun-dried tomato and I was just thinking, I was like, I'm not going to do all the wings that way because they might not go over well, but I'm thinking, yeah, like a more of a vinegar with a Parmesan might taste.
Well, let me tell you, let me run this past you because, and actually, I was thinking about this the other day. It's something I haven't made in a couple of years now. I came across a white sauce a few years ago, like a recipe for a white sauce, and it goes with chicken. It's supposed to go with chicken, and it's a mayonnaise and vinegar based sauce with some other stuff in it. And you make this, and you can use it as you can baste the chicken in it, or you could use it as like a dipping sauce. And we always used it as a dipping sauce. We'd make wings and then just dip the chicken in the white sauce, and it comes out great. It goes really, really well with it.
Well, I know they quite often serve you either ranch or blue cheese when you order wings at a restaurant.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's if you're doing hot wings. Like I wasn't making hot wings. It's just regular chicken wings on the grill, and you have this white sauce.
That recipe.
Yeah, I got to pull it up. But
now a white sauce, I'm assuming, would be French.
This isn't French. I'll tell you that right now. It's not a French white sauce.
I thought they were.
It's from a barbecue place.
All right, you'll have to send that to me.
I certainly.
On that note, because I watched it this week and I like terribly bored. Do you like watching like Master Chef?
Well, I watch barbecue pit masters all the time.
Well, I love that as well.
Right.
Yeah.
It's funny. I don't watch any of those shows, Master Chef or any of those shows. But for the other night, I'm watching something on the Science Channel or one of those channels, and they kept advertising for Guy's Grocery Games with Guy Fieri.
Oh, you've never watched that?
Never. But it was summer grilling challenges. Yeah. So I was like, all right. Let me tune in and see what that, because now I like watching, if it has something to do with grilling, I like to tune in and see if I can get some tips. So I said, all right, let me tune into this. Suddenly I'm watching there was like a marathon of Guys Grocery Games, whatever the fuck it's called. And I was watching the entire marathon of it. I got hooked on this. I'm like, and then,
Guy is good. He's there's another Bobby Flay. I don't know if you get Food Network.
Yeah.
But Bobby Flay does one, and it's always grilling with Bobby Flay. He's another. He does some amazing grilling stuff, and he has one where one of the chefs will challenge him, kind of like an Iron Chef cook-off, where the challenger picks, like you would go in and say, my signature dish is this, and then him and you would go against each other. And there's another one where he's cooking on like the gas and the other guy has charcoal, and they're not really dueling, but they're doing the same recipe. And Bobby Flay, you'd like him.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah. I don't know if you'd like him personally. He's kind of flamboyant and he's better than Alex. I'll tell you that.
My 4-year-old is better than Alex.
Yeah, anybody is. Long day today at the supermarket, washing off carts. My back hurts like crazy because I'm 200 pounds overweight, but I'm going to enjoy my McDonald's and go straight to bed.
Yeah.
He doesn't follow the Weight Watcher point system, that's for sure. All right. Moving along. COVID.
Right.
Choo-choo stew.
And right around this point, I would be asking if London is calling, but obviously London is not with us. But if you look in the upper, as I'm facing it, the left-hand corner. However, you're watching it. It's in that corner.
But you've got this mastered, this back camera shit.
You know what I just realized, and we've been doing this for how long? And I just realized this 10 minutes ago. I have to follow this. So wherever this goes, so I know if that's more pointing to the that's that side of the screen, I can just follow that.
You are the David Copperfield, the Bill Nye, the science guy of live stream. We've been doing this since 2015.
Right.
We just realized that we have to follow the latitude of the boom mic stand.
That's right.
And if I want to point at you, I would point away. Oh, isn't this beautiful?
See?
Wet Willie and Big B's ear. Oh,
that's right. See, and I'm pointing at you. See, and it's funny enough, the angle of this right here is perfect to the smell meter. That's right there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you see the number 50. It's not. We used to keep the quarantine day. In that box.
Lost track of that now.
We completely lost track of that, and it is now Choo Choo Stew's percentage of smell, and it's not the percentage of smell that you would think. Choo Choo Stew equates this to, of all the things in the entire world that there is to smell, right now he can smell 50% of them, meaning he can smell an egg but can't smell a flower. He can smell a fart but can't smell grease. Something like that.
But he can't smell the black stuff, so I'm not sure if he can smell a fart.
I have no idea what he can and cannot smell. Last time we did this, he could only smell 30% of things.
I've lost my on-air composure because now I know where to point. Over to you. Up there.
That's right.
It's all making sense now.
That's right. Just follow your boom mic.
Yeah, man. I never thought of that. It's like the GPS of live streaming. Yeah, I just thought this held my mic in place. It's far more useful, ladies and gentlemen. I suggest, even if you don't have a microphone, you invest in one. It will never steer you wrong.
You don't even need a mic if you're not doing any radio. You don't need a microphone, but get yourself a boom stand.
Because the boom mic stand will direct you into the proper channel of the universe.
That's right.
The direction, and I wonder that. Oh, I lost it again. That's my wife in the background.
Well, yeah, my wife is right there, as you can see. She's back there.
She looks like she's scanning again.
I don't know what she's doing. She's just in the back.
Anyway, so last week, Choo Choo Stew, very serious about, not going to get into the whole rigmarole. We don't have enough time for it, but he's convinced he had COVID-19, despite negative test results with a broken swab. Then comes to us. He does this test with us on air last time he's on, and he'll be back, folks. He's due for a 3-week vacation, so we'll be seeing him soon.
Nice.
He has turned us into this smellability. It's called fifthsense.org.uk if you want to check it out. And it is smell screening testing during the COVID-19 pandemic. There are a number of internationally recognized clinical scientific smell identification tests, that's not a mouthful, that assess you to diagnose your smell disorders. They say for school children, things like orange, vanilla, and mint are smells that young children are able to identify. For older adults, garlic, coffee, coconut, and additional scents. The list is endless. So it's somewhere along the line, Big B, where you train your senses. You work. So I, of course, emailed Stu earlier and said, where we're at. Are you working through the smell vision? And he says he can't say he studied it. He answers me back. You got to get ready for the combinations he's using. He is training himself to smell again by smelling lavender oil,
Mm-hmm.
vinegar, and deodorant as his benchmark closing line, it's definitely improved.
So we got lavender oil, vinegar, and deodorant.
Yes. This is the 3 that he shows. Now, this is a British site. I'm just going to play a little bit. I'm not going to play the whole bit, but here's, and they have training videos. Okay, let me find it here. Here's the babe doing a training video. I guess she's a perfume maker or something. Here she, I think it's Claire. I can't remember her name.
Hello, my name is Sarah,
Sarah.
and I make perfume. So, what might you have hanging around in your house that makes a lovely aroma that you can start to use to build your own sniffing set? Well, how about an orange? Citrus fruits of all kinds, the essential oils actually come from the peel. So when you start to peel it, they leap out at you and you fill the space around you with the aroma of whichever citrus fruit you have chosen. Peppercorns, you can grind these. And I find that the aroma, actually you get quite a strong aroma from the pot itself rather than just the bits that you've ground. But some of the aroma stays.
Anyway, I'm not going to play the whole thing because she's going to put me to sleep. But as you can see or hear, they're very serious about this. You can train yourself to regain your senses, and as we know now, Stu has chosen as his benchmark lavender oil, vinegar, and deodorant.
What kind of deodorant?
Maybe Stu will join us in chat later, or once we get him on. Keep this in your notepad. All things when we do our great catch up with Stu, Choo Choo Stu when he joins us. But I heard you kind of lose your taste, you lose your smell. Again, I personally think he's playing it to the freaking hills, but he's very serious about this. Like he can't smell stuff, like you'll cook bacon or whatever, and he doesn't smell it. So now we're growing in our journey of learning that perhaps through this, I wonder if you have to meditate on these smells, like if there's any transcendental meditation, maybe perhaps some certain yoga moves we could really expand. You and I could do a pay commercial on this, perhaps. It's so bizarre, we could probably sell it.
See, now I have questions.
Well, join the club.
I know you have questions as well, but smell is obviously one of our senses.
Yeah.
So training yourself to smell again is like a blind person training themselves to see. It doesn't happen. How can you train yourself to smell if it's not there?
You're asking the wrong, because you make a very valid point. My glasses every so often get stronger and stronger and stronger. And I'm wondering if there's like a sight of vision thing that I could join.
It's called LASIK. You get LASIK surgery. That's what it's called.
But maybe there's like what do they call it when you don't choose real medicine? You choose
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Pretend
medicine.
Crystal
name for it, right? They call it something homeopathic.
Homeopathic.
Yeah. So maybe there's a homeopathic way, since Stu is jumping 10% a week, using lavender oil, vinegar, and deodorant. All things you have around the house, ladies and gentlemen. Perhaps you would prefer cat litter, popcorn, and dirt from your garden. I don't know, but now I'm going to start. I'm going to do my research. You and I both wearing. Maybe there's a way, a homeopathic way, we can train our eyes to see better again.
No, there's not.
Well, I think I would start by looking at things like boobs.
Right. Right.
cooking videos,
Sure.
and beer. And
But would you look at beer?
For 10 minutes every day to look at a beer before I swig it. Look at the steak while it's cooking, and then look at some boobs, both covered and uncovered. It might just be the cleavage that works. I don't know.
Covered and uncovered boobs.
Yeah, it might just be the cleavage that
Interesting. Very, very interesting.
Of the eye, because if you can recover your sense of smell, you can most certainly recover anything. I know that when I, look at a slightly attractive woman, I recover my boner. It's a very remarkable. You lose it sometimes. It just goes to sleep for sometimes 5 hours, sometimes a couple days, but all of a sudden it bounces back like I don't know, a tail on a snake.
But I mean, when you lose it, that's a good thing. You don't want it there permanently because it would, hurt.
Yeah, it would get a little sore.
Yeah,
and you have to buy baggy pants and stuff like that, or perhaps a giant elastic band.
That's right. You can buy MC Hammer pants.
There you go. But anyway, that's really all I got on the Choo Choo Stew Smellometer.
Ladies and gentlemen, right now he believes he's at 50%.
Yeah, until we get him to explain all this to us and not dance around with a story of the past, and when he pulls one of those, we all don't do it, Stu. Really?
And bear in mind, we don't know if he was actually ever COVID positive. He quarantined himself twice. He went for the test. His test came back inconclusive, but it was a self-test that he broke the testing thing with. So who knows?
And he had mild symptoms, and he was going to shops with the wife. He was still going to IKEA. He was on vacation, Big B. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm calling this a conspiracy. And he's playing like the Black Lives Matter are playing their race card. I'm calling Choo Choo Stew playing the COVID card.
Right.
I call bullshit, and I've called bullshit since the very beginning. I've got a little bit of the sniffles. Well, man, there's probably pollen in the fucking yard.
We were getting towards allergy season.
Yeah. You wanted a month off of work.
That's right.
Stop lying to your fucking friends.
That's right. And, he doesn't get charged vacation time with that because, it's a medical
He's sick. And I don't want to expose that. And I don't want to get in trouble for it. But at the same time, and then he got, me and the family are going to pack up in the smart car and we're going to help make the vaccine. From what?
Yeah.
Probably losing smell because you were smelling bleach.
Well, he couldn't smell. That was one of the things we tested. He couldn't smell it.
You're going to burn the membranes out of your fucking nose.
He was only able to smell an onion and a pickle.
It's like dipping your finger in acid to see if you can feel. There's going to be nothing left when you pull it out of the fucking vat. I think I'm going to smell bleach just for the hell of it. Anyway, where do we move from here? By the way, ladies and gentlemen, we're live on YouTube now. I hope the censorship rules are the same, or we might not be live on YouTube very long. Let's do this little public service announcement. I got this one story I want to share with you.
Okay.
Aside from the news I have later, which will also follow a theme.
Okay. This is another public service announcement brought to you in part. Shut up, punk!
This one, Big B, I actually saw it today, and I was like, this is cute. And this is a warning for anybody ordering online or on Amazon or whatever. This actually comes out of the UK. Headline reads, mortified mom confused as, that was a beautiful pop.
You like that?
Mortified mom confused as postman smirks, handing over parcel, then sees the label. Chloe Lithgow says she has resigned herself to years of embarrassment when she has to face her postman after her online Amazon order came with the product with the name printed on the label. Chloe received an alert on her phone that a delivery was arriving when she saw that the driver was walking up the path, smiling to himself. As she signed for the package, she realized the name of the X-rated sex toy inside was printed on the label right next to the barcode the postal worker had to scan. I opened the door and handed it over, smirking as if he knew what was in the box. It was awful. I looked at him as if to say, please, I hope you have not seen it. And he looked back to say, I know what's in there. The 21-year-old, ordered the lira or pound 15, whatever that L sign is, adult toy from Amazon with the product delivery details promising to make discretion as a primary consideration. But Chloe from Mormington says she now feels mortified every time she has to answer the door to feel her postie or meet her postie. I opened the door in my dressing gown with my kids stood behind me, wondering who was at the door with my hair up in a mum bun. I bet I looked the part. I felt so embarrassed. Even now, when he comes to the door, I can't look him in the eye. He still delivers my parcels, and every time I open the door, I think, oh, why? Please change. I've got years of embarrassment to come. Chloe says her pals, the full-time mom of 3 ordered the product after it was recommended by friends, deciding to go for it and try something new. Chloe said her pals felt her embarrassment when she told them the story and added, on the page it said it was discreet, and I thought it was fine. When I told my friends, surprisingly, they asked how it was, and the company has sold quite a few since. Be very careful what you're ordering from Amazon.
So, so she is very embarrassed by her UPS guy or whatever parcel delivery service, knowing what she got in the box.
Yeah.
So she's so embarrassed.
Rubber penis, baby.
Right.
Go ahead and say it. She ordered.
I can't. I have a little child in this room.
Right now. Okay. I'll say it for you.
Yeah. So I can't say that. But she's so embarrassed by this that she can't face her UPS driver anymore because he knows. So what does she do? She tells it to a newspaper. So half the planet now knows.
Very good point. Very, very good point. Like, exactly. You're embarrassed. You want to hide. She also said she was, I believe in the article, I'm not going to go reread it again, but I believe she was online with her friends, right, obviously through Facebook, kind of like, hey, this is my dinner. I'm very embarrassed. Guess what happened to me today?
Right.
I bought a rubber cock.
Right.
And good point. So if you're so embarrassed, why would you allow yourself to go to a newspaper and publish this story? I like your thinking on this.
She's nothing more than an attention-seeking whore is what she is.
Yeah. And obviously she's seeking a lot more than that. Judging by what we assume is in the package.
Right.
Yes. She's
she
I hope she got batteries too.
She needs some power tools. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, public service announcement, ladies and gentlemen, that you should probably be very leery, even when they say it's coming in discreet packaging. Just let them throw it on your doorstep and save yourself the shame.
Right.
Perhaps.
Or, just don't go to a newspaper afterwards. Because if she didn't go to a newspaper, nobody but the UPS guy would know.
I wonder if she's making what you call like a commission on the resale of these.
She made a deal.
I don't know.
Could be.
You ask questions and I surmise.
There you go.
I let my imagination run wild through all these wonderful stories that we cover here on Cave Crew Radio. All right, let's move along. It's time for what is becoming one of my favorite segments of the show. I have to, of course, pull in my props.
Oh boy,
where to go?
I never know what it's going to be until it pops up.
Right, you never know. And let me play my little song, ladies and gentlemen. Sir Bigby, this is your life. Now, I do have other plans for this segment,
right?
But I haven't really had a chance. I've been, busy and whatnot. So I'm sticking to the pictures. So once again tonight, I have two pictures. This one here, I was very curious about. Not sure what this is, but you almost look like you're in a Clockwork Orange. Let me bring this up and solo it here. So here is a much younger Bigby, before you're wearing spectacles, in a tuxedo with a white hat, sitting in a white wicker chair, which looks to be like a beautiful plush garden. I was wondering where this might be, what story this may tell.
That should be my wedding.
Really?
Yeah.
So you were, and again, not trying. Is Mrs. B gone?
No.
Oh, you don't look impressed.
I don't know. Wait, but that might not be my wedding.
Well,
that I'm thinking
your
about
wedding is something you should probably remember very clearly.
Well, no, I'm thinking if it's our friend Scott's wedding.
I mean, it's a beautiful setting. It's you've got a nice fedora. I'm a big fan. Looks like there's some kind of I don't know if that's a sheep in the background.
Oh, I have no idea.
Can't really. I wish I could zoom on that thing in the back right. It's either
I have no idea what that is.
Big sleeping white cat, or what the fuck is that?
I don't know.
Anyway, you're like in a Game of Thrones chair.
No, actually, that's because that was our table, right? So that was my wedding. That was our table because we didn't have a what they call a dais with the wedding party. We had our own separate table, so that was our table.
Oh, so it was just you and the wife. You were social distancing from the rest of the wedding party.
We've been social distancing for decades.
Yeah, you're ahead of the curve.
I'm a professional. So that was probably towards the end of the wedding. Obviously, we had the ceremony, and this is the party. That was probably towards the end. Everybody was dancing, and this was probably right before cake time. And you can look at that picture and tell you I was tired.
Yeah,
I was very, very tired. I didn't sleep a lot the night before, I remember, and I remember being standing waiting for the ceremony to start, and somebody came up to me and said, "How you doing?" I said, "I'm exhausted and I just want to go home." So I was tired to begin with. So that was probably at the end of the reception, where the white hat was just party hats that were going around, and I was very, very tired.
Almost like a Robin Hood fedora.
Those little plastic party hats that
I want to go back here though, and I'm dying to know what that white fur is in the back.
I couldn't tell you. I have no clue.
Like a sacrificial lamb?
I don't know.
Or you weren't involved in any cults at the time?
No.
Because we all know you're a heavy metal. You're sitting in that Game of Thrones chair. Everything is white and black, but white is the prominent color of the day. And there's something there. I don't know if it's a white Labrador or
I have no idea what it is, but I will tell you, for our wedding, we had a late morning, with like a 11 a.m. wedding on a Saturday morning. So then the party started at like noon, went to 4 or 5 o'clock, whatever time it went. So everybody can have their Saturday evenings if they wanted to go out afterwards, whatever. So, and obviously we had an open bar, but the bar opened at 11 a.m.
Oh God.
So, I mean, and this is, almost 20 years ago.
Right.
We were a bunch of, drunks. So there was a lot of drinking going on starting at 11 o'clock in the morning. It was a lot of fun. But that's the culmination of, in that picture was, I wasn't drunk because I had too much, as you know, in your wedding, you don't get to do a lot of the fun stuff because there's pictures and all this. You got to talk to everybody and blah, blah, blah.
You got to see everybody. You get yourself a beer. You put it down on a table. It's not, you got to sip out of it. And you're like talking to someone and like, I got to get a beer.
Right.
And you've probably had 2 beers by the end of it.
Yeah, probably. It was, but doing all that, and you're just you had the couple of beers, so it affects you a little bit, and you're just exhausted.
Yeah,
I remember going home that
very
night.
Stressful.
I remember
you and I. We're not social people,
right?
Even though we do this, it's very exhausting to be the center of attention for.
By the time I got home that night, because it ends and then there's cleanup and whatever, you got to gather up some stuff, whatever you have to gather up to bring home, the pieces of the cake that gets left over, blah blah blah,
the presents,
yeah, all that stuff. So you're the last one to leave, basically. By the time I got home, I was so freaking exhausted. I just wanted to collapse on the bed and go to sleep.
You know how they normally do the thing where they either sing a song with love in it or they clank the fucking glasses.
Oh, the glasses.
The bride and the groom must kiss.
Yep.
I think what would be better for the bride or the groom, bride and the groom, or just the groom, is every time they do something like that, you do a shot of tequila.
That would be wonderful.
Be a much more fun night, and you loosen up a little bit more.
Right.
The pressures of engagement. I know the worst part for me is I remember faces and shit, but I always can't. I can't remember names, especially at weddings and at funerals. And you always gotta, hey, and you're like, hey, great to see you again.
Right. Oh,
who the fuck you are. Of course, my wife is the one who's always like, oh, you remember cousin so-and-so. You met them in the pitch black dark at the fireworks. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I fucking remember.
No, my wife will tell you, she even from that day, I met members like her cousins and stuff like that live in other states. Very nice people, but I don't remember who the hell they were. So she would always come up to you, oh, you remember this person, that person. Who the fuck is that? That's my cousin from whatever. Oh, okay, now I know.
Yes.
And it took me how many years to remember who they were.
Yeah, but that's my favorite line. Great to see you again. Don't know if I've ever seen you before, but it's great to see you again.
Oh, I'm so used to that, even through in the band years, people come up to you and be like, hey, what's going on? It's been a while. And you have no fucking idea who they are. You're just like, hey man, what's up? How you been? What's going on? You never call them by the name, but just be confident enough that they think you know who they are.
Yes. Worse than that is when you're traveling around and it's that scenario. They're meeting 2 people. They're meeting you and your wife.
Right.
But you are meeting, depending on the size of your reception, several people.
Right.
And so you're walking around and the wife introduces you something. Let's say, this is Harry. And then later on in the night, you're at the bar and, Harry's up there and he's like, hey, and you're like, hey, great to see you again.
Right. Are you having a good time?
I can't remember your fucking name, but it's just like in the bar days. right? Like I don't know. You're a metal guy, so you must remember the bar days when the music is so loud and you're talking to this really hot chick, and you're just nodding and you're she shakes your hand or puts her hand on your shoulder and tells your name, and hopefully you're a good lip reader. And then when the music dies and you're talking and you're ready to hopefully make a connection, get involved, you don't remember what her fucking name is because you couldn't hear it in the first place.
Oh,
so you spend the next week together, not even knowing her name.
You know how many times that's it, not even with a girl, but just with anybody. You're in a the music's blaring, and they're going on and on and on and having this in-depth conversation with you, and you're just what I'll do is I'll lean in like this, right? Like because the music, so I'll try to hear them, right? So I'll lean in real close like this, and I'll shake my head, and then sometimes I'll pull away, yeah, and I'll go back again. I have no idea what the fuck they're saying, but it seems like I'm involved. So I'm just sitting there going, yeah, oh yeah, sure, right. Oh man, and then when you because I hear tones, right? I won't hear the words they're saying, but when I hear them go down a little bit, I'm like, oh man.
Yeah. Well, you're good at this. You're see, that's you're better than me because you're nodding and give a thumbs up. Next thing you know, you get your face slapped. You pig. I can't believe you're that kind of person. I don't know what the fuck you said.
There have been sometimes
several times though, and it's so embarrassing. Like you go back to a quiet party after because your vibes are hooking up through the beauty of the music, and they're telling you their life story. You haven't heard a word, and you're sitting there, and you want to say like, "Hey, Mary, is it Mary? Is it Barb? Is it Hilda? I don't fucking know. I'm fucked."
Right.
I'm completely fucked. This is not going to end well because, the main thing is they want to know they made an impression on you and that there's a connection there and you don't even know their name. And somehow they know you. Somehow. Like you got a fucking name tag on that says, "Hello, my name is..." Yeah, maybe that's an idea. Like maybe in the bars they should do that now. If there's loud music, they don't listen to the music we used to. But if you're at a rave or whatever they're into, everyone should have a "Hello, my name is..."
A rave? What is this? 1994?
Well, I don't know.
Do they have raves
listen to nowadays? Big B. The furthest I go out is to take out my trash.
Well, same here. I'm in the same boat as you.
I don't know what they listen to anymore. I like all I hear coming out of my son's headphones is boom, 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 boom. Hello, my friend. We're behaving.
Yeah, last week he's all shy. This week he wants to sit on my lap.
We are behaving. Don't you worry.
Yes, but he can't hear you.
This is my junior kindergarten graduate.
Right. Yes.
Yes,
he's moving on to kindergarten.
Yes, and they're already
wave high. Wave.
Hello, great.
Wave.
Wait, I gotta go the other way. Great.
You need to get the string.
I forgot about our guiding.
Yes, you have to guide.
Well,
you're above me now.
Yes, and you're below me. You're over here. See,
See, there you go.
I keep forgetting about the guiding.
Yeah, you have to have the guiding. See, you're over there. I know where you are.
Yeah, you're too good at this. Are you already planning for the? We gotta send him. He's definitely going to Harvard.
No,
he's done so well at junior kindergarten.
No,
we definitely want to bring him to Harvard. Oh, we're back on solo.
That is me. Yes, that's me.
Yes,
that's me a long time ago.
There we go. All right. I have one more.
Yeah.
This one should be interesting. Okay, here comes Daddy again. One who looks like he's urinating on a van. This one in the comments of the photo, ladies and gentlemen, said, "Oh my gosh, It's the magic bus.
Say that again. I'm sorry. I had him.
Oh, sorry. So the comments on this picture were,
Oh my god.
oh my gosh, it's the magic bus. Look at this guy with like a makeshift mohawk. This guy looks like he's urinating on. They're putting drums in the magic bus. This is not the van we're experienced with. Obviously, mini skirts weren't in during that day. What is happening here, Bigby? It looks like the Scooby-Doo van.
There's no orange juice. So yeah, this was the very, very early days of the band. This was probably 1992. We formed in 91. This is 1992. This van was actually, we borrowed this van from one of the guys that our guitarist, the guy with the mohawk, is one of our guitarists.
Oh, okay. He's not narcoleptic, right?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, we didn't know the narcoleptic at this point. This was before him. So our guitarist, the guy with the mohawk, worked at a gas station, a local gas station, and one of the guys he worked with had a van. So in the days, prior to our having a van, we would ask him if, can we borrow the van for the night? And, you can come and you'll get in free. You don't have to pay, just say you're with us. So this is us loading in. You see the one guy. See, I'm the one waving, turning.
I was going to say, is that you waving? You must have been on something because you're not shy at this point. You're
right.
not social distancing.
Right. So I'm the one waving. The person in front of me that's kind of bent over a little bit, he's loading a drum into the van. The big guy with the purple shirt and the blue bandana, that was our first.
He's the Mexican guy.
No, he's not. That was our first singer. That's our first singer, Tom.
But isn't that the guy we thought was Mexican last week?
And no, the guy that you thought was Mexican is sitting in the van.
Okay.
If you look at
yes,
the van,
see him. Okay.
Yes. Okay. So he's sitting in the van, all the way over to the right by the tree next to the girl with the long skirt. That's Scott. That's the other guitarist.
That's a boy.
What?
The one beside the long skirt.
Yeah, that's Scott. That's our guitarist.
Okay, that doesn't look like a boy. And he's now a weatherman, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen.
Everybody else here was, just our friends that would come to the shows and hang out, and they'd help us load in and out of our stuff. So
now,
this is
everyone fit in that van.
No
people.
No, this was the van was all for all our equipment. Keep in mind, we have a full drum set. We have 3 rigs, but when I say rigs, it's amps with speakers and heads.
A couple Marshall stacks.
Yeah, a couple of stacks. We would call them rigs, but goodbye, James. We'd call them rigs, but they were stacks. So we would have those in there, and then us, obviously, and the guy. I love you too, James. The guy that was that we were borrowing the van from would drive because it's his van.
Right.
Everybody else had their own vehicles, so they would go.
They would
their own
disperse
vehicles.
to the concert.
Right, but they would help us load and unload. So we'd meet up. This was the guy with the mohawk. This is his house.
Okay.
We would meet up, load all the equipment in. Everybody would disperse, get in their own vehicles. We'd go to the show. This show, I'm guessing, because we didn't play a lot of shows back then, was at a club called Hammerheads out in Hempstead, Long Island.
Okay. Now, the guy with the mohawk, let's try and clarify so I'm trying to remember correctly, it became a nurse or an ambulance guy or something.
No. He works for the Steelworkers Union.
Right.
He's
like those steelworker. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So those big, signs that you see, the billboards and stuff like that, he puts those up.
Perhaps he could make one, in a very busy traffic area in New York for Cave Crew Radio.
Perhaps we would have to contact this company.
And now the singer, I hope this is before Labor Day in the white pants. What did he become?
This was in the summer at some point.
Okay, good. Okay, so it wasn't after Labor Day. What did he become?
He actually passed away.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry to hear that. And it's the guy sitting in the van who I thought was Mexican. who you say is Irish, is a cop.
No, he's security at the Museum of Natural History.
Oh God, I'm not doing well.
You don't remember anything.
I remember Scott as a weatherman, and you're an IT guy.
Yes.
Whatever happened to the girl in the long skirt?
That was Scott's girlfriend at the time, and they broke up many years ago.
And where's the hot chick from last week that was apparently your girlfriend?
She was not my girlfriend at this point.
Oh, okay, not yet. You hadn't made it to the. And why do they call this the magic bus?
I have no idea.
Who
called it the magic bus?
I was in the comments. Oh my God, it's the magic bus or the magic.
We probably called it that. The song "Magic Bus." Yeah. We probably just called it that. I don't remember.
So, folks, last week was latter years in the band. This week we get the very early years.
Yeah, this was like I said, we formed in late '91, like August '91. We played our first show in January of '92, so this is the summer of '92. And again, we weren't playing a lot of shows, so this was probably out in Long Island.
Now, were they originals?
Yes.
Yeah, they were originals.
Yeah, always originals.
You wouldn't like throw in a cover of like Metallica or
no, we did like a couple of impromptu things. Like we did one show, we did Sweet Leaf from Black Sabbath, just because our singer, not the guy here, but the narcoleptic from last week, our singer just was coughing in between songs, and he said, "Oops, sorry, wrong song," making a joke. So I started playing Sweet Leaf, and everybody joined in. So we played Sweet Leaf.
That's karma or good chemistry that you had there. Now, I might be putting my foot in my mouth, and I hope I'm not going to hear bad news. But like, did you just part with the singer to get the narcoleptic, or how did that evolve? I don't really want to hear bad news, but
no. He passed away. How many years ago now? 5 years ago. Something to that effect. Yeah. So he passed away about 5 years ago. But the funny thing about him was he would tell these outlandish stories that were completely false, but and we don't know why he made them up, but they were just completely outlandish, and they're not believable at all, but he thought we would believe them. I'll give you an example. He said now the Grand Central Parkway is just a local highway here in Queens. Just like anywhere, wherever you live, your local highway, equated that to the Grand Central Parkway. Right. He said he was driving a 1984 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme, doing 285 miles an hour on the Grand Central Parkway. For no reason whatsoever, he's telling the story. Obviously, it's impossible to go 285 miles an hour.
Right.
But he said this seriously. He wasn't exaggerating, and thought we believed him. He made up this story that had three different versions of it. It was this really long story, and I was at Scott's house one day, and we're just hanging out. All of a sudden, doorbell rings. He comes in all sweaty, huffing and puffing. And he goes, "Let me get a beer." Me and Scott look at each other like, "Oh, this is going to be good," because we know it's going to be a Tom story. His name was Tom. We called them Tom stories. Somebody tried to break into his house. He was in the shower, chased him out naked, was trying to stab him. The cops came. He told the cops, like he's in a fucking TV show, "I'm not answering questions now. I'll answer questions tomorrow," and left. We're like, "You got to be fucking kidding me."
While naked in the street.
Yeah, it was, stuff like that. So picture that, that's all fun and well, but when it comes to being in a band, and then he's telling these stories, making excuses on why he's not coming to practice. One day we're practicing, and we're working on new material. He shows up like when we're almost done, like 3 hours later. He turns to us and says, "I'm sorry, guys, I overslept. My cat unplugged my alarm clock." Like, whatever. Another time he came late again. He said, "Sorry, guys, I popped a blood vessel in my neck." No, he didn't. So stuff like that. It got to the point where we, we're really trying to really take this seriously, and he was making all these excuses, never showing up. We actually wrote an instrumental song because of all the practices he missed. So we eventually said, you know what, I don't care that we're friends. We're going to find somebody else because we want to really take this seriously. And he was pissed and didn't talk to us for a little while, but it is what it is.
You became friends later. Did he form another band? Did he become?
No, he never did. Yeah.
No.
He never formed another band. It wasn't his thing. It was because we were all friends. So, and he was going to be the singer. That was his role. But he was never really into it. It was he liked the idea of being in a band, but not actually doing any of the work.
Right. And then you met the Irishman who we speculated is a Mexican. He does not have an Irish birth certificate to prove his heritage.
No, he's the drummer. He's always been in the band.
Oh, well, the Narcoleptic was the next.
Right.
Yeah. So you go from the never-ending story, and where do we stumble onto the Narcoleptic?
Well.
The guy who could sleep through a thunderstorm.
Right. So before we actually told Tom we were moving on from him, we were friends with another band. It was a hardcore band. And their singer was leaving that band at the time. And we were like, hey, why don't you come sing for us? So initially he said, yeah. We took band photos and all that. But like within 2 weeks, he went back to his other band, leaving us without a singer. So, we're looking around, and Scott actually went out to Long Island to one of his friend's house, was hanging out with his friend's house. And there was this guy, the Narcoleptic turns out to be, in the background doing some like drywall work, whatever, in my friend's house. And Scott's telling his friend that, yeah, we're looking for a singer. All of a sudden he pops up and says, I sing. So it was like, okay, maybe next weekend or whatever, if it's cool, we'll give you some material, learn it, and, we'll come try you out. Great. So I go with Scott the following weekend to go pick him up now where he's in Long Island. He's got to come back to Queens. That's like a half hour in between, hour drive. I go out there with him. Pick up. His name was Mike, but we called him Spongehead. We went out there to pick up Sponge. Now he was going to be with us the entire weekend. He comes out, doesn't have a shirt on, gets in the car. I look at Scott. I said, "Does he have any bags or anything? Change of clothes? Nothing." He came for the weekend with no shirt, his jeans, and nothing else. No extra clothes, no nothing.
Right.
It's like, oh God, this is going to be interesting. He could sing great, so it turned out it worked out well. But he was a character, and could sleep at the drop of a dime.
Excellent. Spongehead. Maybe we'll hear more about Spongehead.
And I completely forgot, which I shouldn't have. When I went to meet him, and he was going to come down and try out for us, he had this big purple mark on his forehead. We asked him what that was. He said he fell asleep with a suction cup on his forehead. We said, great. Fun times.
From the storyteller to the narcoleptic, ladies and gentlemen. That's the way it goes. Appears my wife is going in the hot tub.
Very nice.
Did you tell us what the lady in the dress became?
I have no idea what she was. She was Jewish, and last I heard, she moved to Israel.
Oh, okay. Perhaps as a translator of the scribes.
I don't know. She was a very religious Jew, so she moved to Israel, probably to
very religious Jew, following around a band of merrymen heavy metals.
It was interesting.
Fantastic. Now the guy all we see is his back, and he's ahead of his time with his underwear sticking out of his shorts, out of his shorts, wearing the Doc Martens.
I have no idea who that is.
No idea who that is.
There's a few people here that I don't remember. There were a bunch of people there in the early days, but then as people get older, they scatter and go different ways. I have no idea who that is.
All right, the Magic Bus, ladies and gentlemen. This week's rendition.
And I will tell you to kind of end on a sadder note. The owner of the bus, the person we would get the bus from, who worked at the gas station with John, eventually became a firefighter and died in the line of duty.
This is terrible. This is okay. Great. I was going to do weird news now. No, all right. Let's go to the news. We still have some time. Where's the button? Here we go. We have a theme tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to follow. I don't know if the stories are that too good this week. We might want to go back to the making bread with urine from last week. But TikTok, our friend Bordeaux, he's the TikTok influencer.
Sure.
We do have a couple of stories. I have to move along. This one, both of them are very strange, but they involve TikTok. So let's see if we can. So I don't know if you want me to put this on really quick.
There we go.
Teens are dressing up as mask-wearing grandmas to score alcohol. It's a pandemic. Nobody knows you're underage. That's what Gen Z has discovered. They've updated the fake ID for COVID-19. Hitting up liquor stores dressed as elderly grandmas and wearing coronavirus face masks. The prank has taken social media platform TikTok by storm, with videos of users bedecked and bezoozled as seemingly victorious bottles of hand. That doesn't make any sense. Racking many millions of views. If you get the liquor when you're underage, it is a bonus. So a little artistry can go a long way. One TikTok video has over 1.5 million views. Biggie, this is what they call an influencer. It depicts a blonde girl getting wrinkles drawn on with makeup. The video then shows the made-up gal using a walker in a parking lot, and at the end, she is clutching a bottle of pink liquid. Let's see what else they say here. This prank took place in California. Another video with over 2 million views shows a young woman rocking a gray wig, glasses, and an old person Halloween costume mask with her surgical mask and her gloves on. She seems like an innocent octogenarian. The clip shows the gal returning from the mart with cans of Four Loko in tow, dancing with her friends while she rips off her mask. 2 million people so far have watched the video of a brunette, I believe it's this one, with the headscarf and costume jewelry, walk into a wine shop and later twerk on the side of the road holding a bottle of wine. Oh my God, it worked. And it's good, guys, she says, by the way. There's a new trend. We've talked about restaurants. We've talked about entrepreneurs. We've talked about, all these social distancing things with inner tubes and plastic bubbles around people. Even the kids are starting to adapt to this pandemic and find ways of exploiting it, I guess you would say.
Right.
So this one, I'm sure, is the last one who was twerking at the end, but it looks like she has a pillow in her ass. And I don't know. You're probably going to criticize it. You're going to probably find flaws in it. But I, again, am going to say touche to entrepreneurship and capitalism in its very finest form.
Well, I actually can't say anything bad about this because it's a new form of fake ID. Remember now, when we were underage, we tried to get fake IDs and try to get into bars and try to, here we would go to the
much easier back then. I was telling someone the other day, actually, BB, that the picture or the IDs did not have pictures. So if you had an older friend who looked old enough, they would simply give you their birth certificate or driver's license or age of majority card, and you would just show it because there was no pictures on the ID back then. It's a little more difficult now.
I'm curious to know how old you actually are then, because we had picture IDs.
Well, you might have had it before us. I'm very scantily elder than you. Choo Choo Stu is, I believe, the eldest. I'm not sure. I might be slightly older than Choo Choo Stu, but I wasn't born in the Charlie Chaplin eras. There was a time. Well, my birth certificate still doesn't have a picture on it.
Well, no, my birth certificate doesn't have a picture on it either. No birth certificate does. But I mean, we had fake driver's licenses that obviously had pictures on them.
I don't think until the 90s they came out with pictures.
Wow. You're in a small town in Canada. Here in New York, we had pictures on our driver's licenses.
Okay. Maybe you did. But anyway.
Anyway, but what I'm saying is you can't find fault because it's the new fake ID. Right, we would go to the local bodega here in Queens, and they knew we were underage. But hey, turn your head, wink, wink. I'll take a 40 of fucking Bud, whatever it is. You could try to get into the bar with a fake ID, and for the most part, again, wink, wink. They turn their head, yeah, go in.
Well, yeah, you knew the bars you could get into, right? And they usually weren't the most exciting bars that you got into either. They were like,
no, but it was the fact that it was dives, but it was the fact that you were able to get into a bar and get served alcohol. This is the new, I can't see. Hey, you know what? If it works, it works. You're not. I mean, yes, you're committing a crime because it's underage drinking, but it's not. You're not hurting it. You're not beating up anybody. You're not stealing from anybody. You're not.
They're right. They've won the fucking lottery, and of course, this is the era. We're learning of this as we grow in media, Big B. That social influencing is a big deal, and you just busted yourself if your parent ever gets on your phone.
Well, that's where the stupidity comes into play. They say that youth is wasted on the young for a reason, because you are fucking stupid when you're that age. We all are. So you get away. You have a good plan. You dress up as an old lady because you take advantage of the masks. Wonderful. You get yourself some alcohol. Great. Celebrate it with your friends. Have drinks. Have some fun. Don't put it on the fucking internet for the world to see.
We never had that. We would have been in big, big trouble.
Of course.
I have to clarify that I did not ever rape, but we did some things, right? Like now here's a question for you, outside of the box of this a little bit. Did you ever have like you would go to the beer store when you were underage, or going to like a bonfire or a bush party or whatever? I don't know if you guys have that in the big city, but you're going to party somewhere, and you would get someone at the beer store to buy you beer. And were you ever approached as an adult with someone saying, "Hey, if I give you 10 extra, will you get us beer?"
No, that doesn't happen
here quite a bit.
Yeah, that doesn't happen here in the city.
Okay.
When we were younger, we, like you said, we knew the places that we could go and get served, and it was mostly the corner, and we call them bodegas. They're just corner delis, whatever. The person doesn't care. They're just give me the money, whatever, and back then nobody's checking really. So yeah, nobody was like, and as I got older and became an adult, I don't ever remember anybody asking, can you but that probably happened in smaller towns. I know you say Windsor is like a small town, so that's more of a small town thing. It doesn't happen here in the city. I will say this: years ago, when we were in the band, and there was a lot of underage people, but we were having a pig roast in a park, and we had kegs and alcohol
Just in a
flowing.
public park, you just
Yeah.
roasted a fucking pig.
Yes.
Just in a park.
Yes. There was there's a park here called Forest Park, and it has a concert shell, like a band shell, for they'd have concerts in the park, not for us to play, but like orchestras and shit like that. So we'd go into the parking lot and we'd go by the wood line, and we'd have kegs and we roasted a pig, and we were having a great time. And what we would do is we would park the cars and put the kegs behind the cars so they weren't seen outwardly, right?
This is not Central Park.
No, it's here in Queens.
Okay.
The cops came, not because we were making noise or anything. There was a lot of us, but we were being respectful. We were just having fun, hanging out and drinking. But they were just doing on their regular patrol. So they came into the parking lot, came by us, and stopped, obviously, saw everybody that was there, and I must say, they were very, very cool officers. We went up to them, and this is what, ladies and gentlemen, for those watching, please take note. If you respect the police and treat them with respect, you're not going to get killed. Okay, let's take this as a life lesson. We went up to the police and was like, "Oh, can I help you?" We're having a little pig roast here. It's a little cookout type thing. And they're like, look, I know there's underage kids here. I know there's alcohol. You guys seem, because we're not jumping around like lunatics and fucking, being assholes. They're like, look, don't cause a disturbance. Clean up when you're done, and we'll leave you alone. We're like, absolutely no problem. And we did. We cleaned up everything when we're done. But they let us go.
In the middle of a park.
Yeah.
See, we used to go into like a forest and build bonfires and hide.
Mm-mm. No, this was in the middle of a park. But this was in the early to mid 90s. That tells you how far distant we are from then till now. Again, we treated them with respect, and we went up to the police. We didn't hide. We didn't try to hide anything, because the first thing you learn is if you tried to hide something, you're going to get busted.
Yeah.
So you don't try to hide anything. You're just like, hey, what's going on? We're not going to run and dump stuff out real quick. No. What's going on? Yeah, we're having a pig roast. We're having a little party. And you talk to them like human beings. They're going to treat you like human beings.
Right. A lesson to be learned.
And, I think more people could learn that lesson nowadays than back then.
You should be a guest on Don Lemon.
Oh, God. I would destroy him.
Fucking idiot. All right. So that's our TikTok story. And you learn, I never, we would not get away with just having a pig roast in a park. That would be.
But again, I think that's where smaller towns against bigger cities comes into play. When you're dealing with a bigger city, these cops really do have more important things to worry about.
Right.
As long as
New Jack City.
Right. So they're coming along, making sure everybody's safe, making sure nobody's hurt, nobody's causing a real disturbance. Do your thing. We're going to go somewhere else. Smaller towns, not as much going on. That becomes a bigger issue.
Right. Makes sense. Makes perfect sense. All right. So our next story also ties into a TikTok. I'm going to bring up a picture.
What the hell is that?
This goes over to Louisiana. Well, I'm gonna tell you the story. A Louisiana man faces charges for swimming in a sporting goods fish tank. The suspect told reporters he plunged into an indoor aquarium at a Bass Pro Shop in Borzor City to celebrate getting 2,000 likes on TikTok. Social influencer. Police in Louisiana were able to reel in a man captured on video swimming through a fish tank in a sporting goods store. I have to say, by the way, this is a beautiful fish tank in a store.
Alex Cardinelli would be jealous.
Be dying. I could imagine Alex Cardinelli doing a cannonball into this.
There would be no water left.
Here's the great part of this, ladies and gentlemen. The previous one we covered underage drinkers, so we're talking about teenagers seeking attention and going on this TikTok. Kevin Wise was 26, and he told KSLA TV that he plunged into an indoor aquarium at a bass shop to follow through on a promise he made to his followers on the social media platform TikTok. I said that if I got 2,000 likes, I would jump into the tank. I got way more than that, and I didn't want to be a liar. At least he's a man of principle. A video captured by the shopper, Treasure McGraw, showed Wise swimming through the tank before climbing out and running from the store in wet clothes. We heard a big splash, and I thought it was one of the fish, McGraw told the news outlet. My fiance was like, someone is in the tank, and she saw the guy swimming. Bass City Pro Shops filed a complaint with the Bossier City Police Department. Wise was charged with a simple criminal damage to property and released with a citation to appear in court. He told KSLA that he planned on continuing to make videos for all his followers, but cautioned others about doing similar things in the spur of the moment. TikTok is the theme of the show.
Here's where it splits for me. The first story was some underage kids going to get some alcohol to have some fun. I don't have a problem with that. We all did it as kids. This is a 26-year-old man. Now, at 26, you're you're really growing out of that 20s party. You know, you're really getting into adulthood at this point.
Yeah, might have a job, perhaps a fiance or a common law wife, or
right? Some form of responsibility in life, right? You shouldn't be living with your parents anymore. You should be out on your own with some form of responsibility. To jump in a fucking fish tank in a sporting goods store because people on the internet think it's going to be a good thing. Now you're a fucking asshole.
See, I know you cite me as old and dated. And
well, apparently you had licenses with no picture on it from 1937. And you wear hats from 1956.
Apparently I have a toilet that doesn't flush properly.
Right.
I live on a farm in the middle of fucking Udall Daddle. But anyway, as much as I feel like I'm on top of things, we're on YouTube now. We're on Facebook. We've been doing this show. We've been pioneers of live streaming. I just trying to wrap my head around this social influencer thing.
And
it's almost like a cult. It's almost like a drug. It's like, instead of proclaiming week after week that I have not divulged into the darkness of my mind and raped, I feel like I should proclaim I have not social influenced.
And therein lies
anyway.
Therein lies one of the problems with modern technology and social programs. Becoming a social a influencer is not a job. You earn nothing from it. You sit on the internet and say, I like this, I like that. That means nothing.
but they have millions and millions. Well, this guy 2,000, but I mean, in the mainframe of social influencer, they have millions and millions of followers. They're loved.
Right, but okay, but can you pay your electric bill with that? No. And here's one of the greatest thing I ever heard was one stupid bitch, social influencer, whatever the fuck it's called, said to this one hotel in some island somewhere, "Oh, I'm an influencer. If you let me stay there for a week for free, I'll give you a good rating on the internet, and I have this many followers." They're like, "No, you want to stay here, you're going to pay. We're not giving away free stuff." And if more places did that and told these fucking ridiculous influencers with no talent or skills at all to go fuck themselves, stuff like this wouldn't happen. This douchebag jumping in a fucking aquarium, which, by the way, could kill the fish that's in the aquarium.
Right, because of the bacteria.
Right, yeah. Stuff like this wouldn't happen. But unfortunately, nowadays, with social media and all of this stuff, you have a bunch of useless, non-talented, skillless people who think that they know everything, and they know nothing.
Now, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I have two quick statements. Hopefully, I don't forget what I was going to say. But do you think now Nike is abandoning, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Washington Redskins and NASCAR, and they're abandoning everything in this left-wing calamity that we have going on? Are they going to start to sponsor these social influencers, because they're the ones that are reaching? I mean, as an advertiser, let's be realistic. As an advertiser, you want to reach the masses. You want to get the best bang for your buck. And not saying this idiot in the pool in the bass shop, but some of these social, if you can reach people that way, is this the way? Are we going to have like Coca-Cola sponsors and shit with social influencers? Is this what we're heading towards? Just a question. Just a thought.
Well, two things. One, I don't know. Nike is all up involved with left-wing bullshit because they can't get enough of Colin Kaepernick. Right. Which, by the way, Mr. Oppression loves a company that uses Chinese child slave labor to make their products. Yeah. But that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
So they're completely aligned with left-wing nonsense. I don't see the major corporations aligning themselves with people like this because they do stupid shit like this. I don't see Coca-Cola saying, "Yeah, it's a good idea. Go to fucking Bass Pro Shops, jump in their aquarium with a Coca-Cola shirt on." They're not going to do that. They're not going to. They're, just on the corporate level, they are not going to do that.
But
some small startup company.
You don't think like Mary Kay is going to say like, "Jenny Jane, where's our makeup?"
No, not if they do dumb shit like that. Small startups, sure, because that's a great way for them to reach a large number of people really quickly. Established brands, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, whatever, are not going to do that. McDonald's, they're not going to do that. One, they're an established brand. Two, they have a wide, corporate policy on behavior and stuff like that, which is why you see a lot of these companies drop whoever it is immediately as soon as something controversial happens.
Right. Yeah.
They are not going to, these well-established corporate brands are not going to be aligned with anything that has to do with this crap. Up and coming, new businesses that are trying to make a name for themselves, sure. Whether it works or not is a whole other story.
Here's my next thing. I don't know if you remember this far back, and I can't remember if it was Double Talk Radio or right at the beginning of Cave Crew Radio.
Mm-hmm.
But the very first social influencer that I can recall, so we're going back quite a ways here, was Charlie Sheen.
Mhm.
And he hired a social media manager. As much as he had lost his wits in all that shit that he was going through, and he went on tour and he did those speeches. I don't know if you remember all this, but Charlie Sheen was one of the first people that hired a social influencer or a social media manager who basically was making Charlie Sheen a social tiger blood influencer. And we had him on one of the shows. I can't remember which one it was. I'd have to go back and dig. But do you remember that?
Well, it
That-
wasn't on our show. I will say this because
Okay,
I know
so
he wasn't
it
on our
must have
show.
been the trail end
It had
of
to be
Double Talk
on
Radio.
Double Talk Radio.
It was
But
definitely on all Radio X. I remember that.
Right,
And
so
we
that was
had
Double
this
Talk
guy
Radio.
on. I'll have to find the show. I'm sure it's in archives somewhere. And this guy there was Charlie Sheen put out like a contest on Twitter or something, and he called it a social media manager. But basically, this is what Charlie Sheen was trying to do when he went nuts. Do you remember when he went freaking off the rails there?
No, I absolutely remember when he went off the rails. But keep in mind, as far as celebrities go, or people of that ilk, they have PR people. What do PR people do? They manage their image, their brand in various forms of media, television, print media. And at that point of when Charlie Sheen was doing it, the up and coming social media, it was still fairly new at the point.
And there was no one who was an expert, like your media manager who got you interviews on Regis and Late Night with David Letterman. They had no idea what was going on. So he had the wits, he had the smarts to go out and find someone.
Right. So yeah, there's always people that can see, past what's right in front of them and see what the future brings as far as what the next big thing is going to be. Right. I mean, that's how all of life advances, because there's always somebody that can see what the next big thing is and they act upon it.
Right.
So Charlie Sheen, obviously, with his PR people, saw that this internet and social media thing could be the next big thing and something he could take advantage of.
Right. So instead of you spiraling and ending up at the Mayo Clinic or whatever, we're going to run with this, Charlie. Just let us handle it.
Right.
And you're going to go on tour as a complete fucking maniac.
Right. Well, I mean,
I wonder how much of that was an act and how much of it was real.
Well, I'm sure 97% of it was an act and 3% of it was real. But let's look at two opposites, right? So there was Charlie Sheen with his tiger blood thing and all of this nonsense that was going on. Really took to it, and like you said, went on tour and did all this thing. And then look at somebody like Britney Spears. Remember when she went nuts and shaved her head and was like beating up on fucking cars? Everybody thought she was just fucking nuts, and she went underground, and you didn't hear from her for a while until she made a comeback and made her thing in Vegas.
Right.
So that's two polar opposites of how you attack your suddenly crazy profile.
It's like we're always looking for the next great idea here on Cave Crew Radio, and now I'm watching these this thing with the booze, this thing with the bass tank. And I'm sorry, it just popped in my head. And I'm thinking, you know what? Charlie Sheen, as sick as he may have been, really caught on to something here. And just think of the press he got. Like everyone was,
absolutely.
Is he nuts? He's lost his mind. He's, does he have AIDS? What has he got? He was actually acting out his character in Wall Street. He was I think he was as sharp as a fucking whip, if you want to know the truth.
Well, and that's what happened when and a lot of people don't understand this. If you're painted into a certain corner and you own it, you become more accepted.
Yeah.
So Charlie Sheen was painted into that corner where he suddenly became, crazy Charlie Sheen. He may have AIDS and all of this. He owned it and said, fuck it, I'll run with it. Let's go.
And I remember he came to Detroit. I actually wanted to go and see it, but I never got over there. And he would sit in a fucking arena like a concert would play in front of all these people and just talk. I really wanted to go. I was fascinated by. I bought into it. I don't know at the time if I thought he was nuts or I thought he was brilliant. I loved it.
But that's the difference, right? If if you own it and you say, "Yep, this is who I am," people are going to accept that, and that's why you could go on a speaking tour and sell out arenas and whatnot, just to hear you talk. Whereas, if you're going to act crazy and lash out at people who are calling you crazy,
kind of like a Justin Bieber type of thing. He didn't play it well.
No, he didn't play it well at all. Neither did Britney Spears and countless others that kind of Britney Spears was able to come back from it, but countless others have fallen by the wayside. Whereas somebody like Charlie Sheen, he never fell off because he owned it. He said, "Yeah, fuck it, this is who I am. Let's go have some fun with it." And then people are like, "All right, you know what? Let's see where it goes."
Now, where is Charlie Sheen today?
I don't know.
I haven't heard from him in ages. I'm gonna next week, ladies and gentlemen. This is our report back. We see him every week. We're not prepared for a certain subject because it just pops up on us. We will report back on the latest news of Charlie Sheen, which leads me to the question of where the fuck is Richard Simmons?
Wasn't it? Didn't we do a story a long time ago that he was being held hostage?
Yes. We got a flashback on that. Write that in your book. We got to report back. Message me during the week. We need to do some research. You're in charge of Richard Simmons. I'll do Charlie Sheen for next week. And we will report back to our loyal listeners who expect us to have all the answers. Time has fleeted away from us for a guy with a major migraine.
I told you, sometimes it works out well.
I really wanted to tell you a story about maybe I'll tell it next week on the pre-show. I was sitting in the hot tub last week, speaking of the hot tub, and last night, and I thought I saw like a giant bug, and then I thought it was a plane. There was a drone flying over my backyard.
Wait. Stop right there. You saw a giant bug, and then you thought it was a plane.
It's dark.
Holy shit! How big are the fucking bugs in Canada that you think suddenly? Oh no, it's not a bug. It's a 747.
Well, listen, you hear this? You think it's like a what do you call those things? What are those bugs in the trees that were supposed to bloom this year? Cicada. Yeah, you think it's a flying cicada. Here they are. The locusts are coming. It's 2020. I'm ready for it. My guard is down. The unexpected has become the expected. And I'm looking and I can't see anything right away because it's kind of like swarming around the neighborhood. And I waved at it. I should have shot a moon or something. But
waved at what you thought was a bug.
It was a drone.
Right, but you thought it was a bug at the time.
I don't live in a Black Lives Matter riot, like heavily policed area. So we're not used to necessarily seeing these things. I'm relaxing in my hot tub after an extremely stressful week. And I'm looking forward that tomorrow, which is today, is Friday. And I hear zzz, and I'm thinking, okay, it's a cicada. The murder hornets are coming. I don't know what the fuck it is. Then I look up, and from a distance, I'm like, oh, perhaps it's a plane. I don't have my glasses on. I'm in the fucking hot tub. And then I realize as I look up, and it's zzz, like 30 feet above my house, it's a fucking drone. Someone is sitting in their living room watching me in their hot tub. If I'm that exciting, you think I don't have a life? For fuck's sakes, DK in his hot tub is nothing to fucking write home about, and certainly not buy a fucking $3,000 drone to fly over his house.
Maybe
there's gotta be something else in the neighborhood going on that's more exciting than me, like the lineup at Dairy Queen or something.
Well, you know what? Maybe through the power of this program, you have become a social influencer and you didn't know it. And somebody wants to see the inner life of DK.
And this is the modern day paparazzi.
Paparazzi. That's right.
Fuck. Never thought of it that way. See, I don't think of myself because, I think we do well and we continue to do the show, and our fans that follow us and our friends in the Facebook group are extremely loyal and they love us. But I don't think of it like I've told you before. I think of us as like more of a garage band. We're not going to sell out Carnegie Hall. We're not going to sell out Madison Square Gardens.
Mm-hmm.
We're a small mom and pop bar. Everyone loves us on a Friday night.
Right.
I don't think people are going to spend the money to get it. I mean, if you really want to get a picture of me in my hot tub, ladies and gentlemen, we do have a PayPal and we can arrange this.
He will perform any pose that you wish.
It's probably that chick that comes on once a month and tells me how sexy I am.
She wants to get on the show. Just so you know.
Then we got to get her on. We have her cell phone now too.
So does the world. I saw that Facebook post come up. I didn't approve it because it had a phone number on it. Yeah. I saw you did, and I was like, oh, fuck it.
I wasn't thinking at the time. I'm just, hey, another person wants to post in the group. And now I'm thinking I think we should call her next week and tell her to click on my computer. we should get Matt on next week. And be salami carpar. And fucking tell her, I need you to click on my computer.
Please restart.
Yeah. You have a virus. Oh, that's mean. She's a fan. We shouldn't do that to our own fans. We do that to total strangers.
Bill from Ontario or Calgary.
Calgary. I wonder if he's still alive. I don't know if it was you or Brad, but one of you gave him a heart. The guy's fucking screaming at us from his car. I've got heart problems and I'm sick of these Syrians with the goats.
That was me. I was the one that called Bill all the fucking time.
Oh, you fucking ruined him. I actually started to feel bad for him. It was a classic. And again, folks, this is like 3 years ago when the Syrians were running from Syria.
Yes.
All right.
Syrians were running from Syria.
For thinking we're going to cut short tonight, we've actually run a little over. And
I gotta pee like a motherfucker.
Yeah, me too. And I got to get Friday night going. I got to eat. But what are we going to name this show? I had one thing written down, and mine are usually stupid.
What was yours?
Mine was my cat unplugged my alarm clock.
That is good. That is good. I was I didn't write much down. I was thinking I was going to do something having to do with smell training. But we had the gem of the story not 2 minutes ago about your hot tub.
No.
So I came up with, is it a bug or a plane?
Okay, I like that. Is it a bug or a plane? And I will report back to you, ladies and gentlemen, about that, because I remember I looked over at my wife and I said to her, you know what, I'm going to get a, and she said no. I thought, you know what, that's pretty cool. I'm going to get one of those things, but so far unsuccessful. I did sneak by her this week a soundbar, so I can't be. Got a new soundbar for the
take your victories as they come.
Yeah, because I'm used to these old surround sound systems that are bulky and there's subwoofers.
Yeah,
we got one down here in the basement, but I'm like, I'm reading about them. I'm like, these soundbars look pretty cool. I'm gonna pick up one. So, especially with hockey coming back, so. Maybe we can talk about that next week. We'll have exhibition games under our belt. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we got for tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show. We always like hanging out with you. Big B and DK, Choo Choo Stu will be back in a few weeks when he starts his 3-week vacation. And maybe he'll catch COVID again. Extend it. He'll be with us for a long time. Until then, we'll see you next week, ladies and gentlemen. Be good. Wear your mask. Good night.
Later.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!